welcome back again to some 0K action. It's going to be a team game on the Iceland map, which I've casted on before, and yeah, it should be an interesting game with a hell of a lot more players on it as well. So we'll just skip the chat, and yeah, as you can see, we've got plenty of players each team. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with 2 commanders for Burp, it seems. So what the hell, we'll see what happens. Myself, Lightman, I'll be playing somewhere. Here we go, I'll be playing right here with the light vehicle factory, and our opponents are going to go for a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not really sure what the hell that was a reference to, but what the hell, opponents are going for a whole bunch of different things. Just having a look at the overall spread, we've got just one airplane planter ourselves, while our opponents do have one airplane plant as well as a gunship plant as well. Okay, we're going to have a couple of gnats, not bad, couple of gnats coming in, and oh no, the fucking Vindicators. They're going to be looking to capture Commander most likely. God, and those fucking gnats, because they can actually stun an enemy commander relatively easily in groups. So yeah, once they do that, then they can easily pick them up using the Vindicator. Massive pain in the ass, to say the least. Although actually the Venger... No, never mind. I was going to say the Venger could take them out, but no, he's actually going to get stunned. Okay, that is bizarre. Oh wow, that was interesting. He was getting stunned, but only like for couple of seconds each time, so sort of would float down to the ground almost and then go back up again. That's interesting. Something I don't say too often, to say the least. And yeah, that's exactly how I help real aircraft work. Okay then, very interesting indeed. In either case, I would have spotted the gnats, so I suppose that's something we're just going to have to be wary. We're going to have to bring in plenty of anti-air, and as for the anti-air response, we don't have one. We've got just a couple of shadows just for bombing the shit out of the opponents, but no anti-air at all. Just a couple of... oh no, that's a defender tower right there, but yeah, that's just lighter anti-air. We don't have anything really significant when it comes to anti-air, except for this Razor's Kiss though, which can cover a bit of terrain actually, so if the gnats happen to fly into that, then they're toast. But at the same time, there's quite a bit of the map that's not actually covered, such as my commander actually, as you can see. Not covered at all, in fact. What does he have? Just the energy cells, so just going for a basic morph there. I really should have come up with some anti-air to help defending, but I mean, just knowing the fact that there were gnats there, and that would almost certainly mean that a Vindicator is going to follow. But, oh well, what can you do? It says useless, but something tells me that that Vindicator with the gnats is going to be used eventually. We'll see what happens though. We do have some anti-air though. Not much though, but we'll see what happens, like I said. We've got Avengers going up against Glaives, and actually not doing such a bad job taking them out. Unfortunately though, the Glaives will be able to take out one Weaver though, so definitely making up their cost, and being able to take out a Metal Extractor, definitely making up their cost there. God damn. Not too shabby indeed, so seems to be screwing up the pathing there. Also lost my basic striker to something, I'm not really sure to what actually, to be honest. I don't think it was the Scythes. They were all the way there, I'm pretty sure, when he got destroyed. But in any case, he is down, so something took him out. I'm not really sure what exactly, but in either case, he's down, so pretty freaking girly. But there we go. Samparu is going to take advantage of that to reclaim from him, and well, why not? I might as well get the medal from that at the very least. These Scythes from Madashi are actually managing to sneak in quite far into our base. Actually, they have not been revealed yet. Almost running into the Scorchers, but not quite. And yeah, they're just going to see everything that we're doing. Oh, they can actually go up this terrain. Let's have a look. No, I don't think they can. No, I don't think so. So yeah, they're going to be very careful though, and they are going to get spotted though. They're taking out a commander for the cost isn't so bad, but at the same time though, we can just salvage that commander anyway, and it was only just a level 1, so hopefully wasn't relying on that too heavily for... Indeed, wasn't relying on that too heavily for energy production or anything like that. I don't know. What I do know is... Okay, never mind. What I do know that is that Team 2... Actually, never mind. They actually do have slightly less metal income than us, but their power income is quite a bit higher, so we'll see how that factors in. They are definitely continuing to stream in forces. We don't have adequate defences towards the southeast at all for some reason. Actually, I'm going to be sending in, well, one Scorcher, which I suppose is better than nothing. Indeed. Well, I suppose we could actually kite the glaives a bit, but yeah, unfortunately these glaives are going to be doing quite a bit of damage. Lotus, unfortunately, not getting built up. And never mind, the Scorch is just going to go straight into the thick of these guys. Although he is actually getting some parting shots on these glaives, so not quite taking many of them out, but better than nothing, though. Fortunately, yeah, they're going to be taking out a bit of our economy there, and yeah, never mind, their economy is now better than ours. Okay, it was temporary. What the hell? Okay, I think... Okay, but we must be salvaging, most likely. Interesting. Well, we'll just say that, okay, yep, it looks like the base economy of Team 2, which is the enemy team, is slightly above ours, so we're going to have to be very careful about them overwhelming us with sheer numbers. We're definitely going to have to be a bit more careful about properly defending our expansions. I mean, these are just basic raiders that are taking us out, for God's sake. Interestingly enough, we actually do have an Athena being built by Fishfinger. I'm not really sure what the point of that is. And yeah, indeed, we could do some... Oh no, actually, everywhere AA, that's actually being said by Sandro. Yeah, they could do some anti-air as well, actually. The sort of anti-air fighters that we've got, although they're going to get whittled down, actually, if they're not careful. Good job, actually, taking out something or rather with that. I'm not really sure what the hell that was with the bombers, but unfortunately, though, we do lose pretty much all of our fighters in the process. I suppose we do manage to delay the Stinger from getting constructed. It's still going to get constructed, though, and it's going to do a bit of damage, actually. Going to be able to cover quite a bit of terrain, actually. Ouch. And yeah, it's going to get defended as well. I actually got a dedicated caretaker, probably just for that. Hacksaw as well, just to provide a bit of anti-air. And yeah, it looks like the opponents... Actually, no, wait a minute, is that us? Yes, it is, actually. So yes, definitely want to get those mexes as quickly as possible. We do still have a couple of... well, we do still have a local superiority in these areas at the very least, so we should be expanding there as quickly as possible. The bottom right, on the other hand, is a little bit trickier to get through. As you can see, actually I'm sending my Scorchers up against the glaives just to try to do as much damage as possible. We do have another trio of scythes coming in as well. What the hell was that? Okay, not really sure what the hell happens there, but we actually do have a Behemoth, bizarre enough, actually being built up, but okay. Okay, so Firestab must have built that up. The scythes actually do manage to take out yet another commander, not quite being able to take out Firestab's commander, which is just an E-cell commander anyway. Interesting going for Behemoth. Unfortunately, though, it didn't have enough energy being pumped to it, which is rather interesting given what it's actually linked into. Was this thing actually finished? Yes, it is. But it doesn't have enough energy, though. In fact, I'm not really sure how much more energy it actually needs. Let's see. Okay, yeah, actually, never mind. It's not actually linked. So not linked there, and okay, not linked there either, because of the solar collectors getting destroyed. Ouch. So much for that Behemoth. It actually, well, it would have been able to take out quite a bit of the enemy's defenses here and establish a bit of local superiority there. Are we actually going to be quitting this quickly? I don't know. The game's not really over for us just yet. I think that Behemoth rush by Firestab was not the best idea. I mean, in theory, maybe it might have worked. I don't know. It was just a little bit too obvious, especially terraforming the terrain like this. Would have alerted our opponents that there was something significant being built on here, because you can actually see terrain being changed. I'm pretty sure you can see terrain being changed outside of the Fog of War, and yeah, now they're continuing to stream in from the bottom right. A couple of Zeuses leading the charge. Interesting, the lasers are turrets actually targeting the rockets first, because they probably know that the Zeuses will take forever to actually destroy. Interesting. Do have a Scorcher coming in, trying to do whatever he can, but yeah, it's just not going to be enough. Very unfortunate indeed, and a Stinger actually going to be built. What the fuck? Okay, a Stinger was going to be built, but yeah, it just gets destroyed pretty quickly. Firestab terraforming the train again just to hide as commander, I guess. Okay, that's strange, but yeah, opponent's definitely going to be having a bit of free reign in our base, as you can see, and this Behemoth is basically not being able to do anything, although wait a minute, no, it is actually up and running. Can I actually... I'll be damned, it actually can aim at these guys at point blank range. The only problem is though, really they actually sent in rapiers against us. Oh, amazing, simply amazing. So yeah, unfortunately we didn't have adequate anti-air defense there. If we did, then that actually would have turned things around very significantly if we could keep that Behemoth up, but unfortunately no, it was taken out. Yeah, it was a bit impractical to build a Behemoth right on the enemy's front lines, to be honest, especially without proper anti-air. We do have some anti-air around here, but I'm surprised that we don't have a couple of Razor's Kisses or whatever around here just to help defend against that sort of stuff. We did have a couple of Vamps, but the opponents had a hell of a lot more Vamps, and they just destroyed ours basically, so whoopsie long. And now yeah, they've got superiority pretty much everywhere really, except in the northwest, and even then, oh never mind, those are anti-air bots mostly. Well, and even then actually they do have a couple of units to be a pain in the ass with, like the sharpshooters and all that. We're going to take out a slasher most likely, a heroic slasher by the looks of it. So it kind of sucks, but oh well. Can you do? I've actually got a whole bunch of darts for some reason, not really sure why. Well, I suppose maybe I could rush the thugs with them, I don't really know. But we do, if I do try to send them down here, the warriors, the single warrior should I say, will take them out pretty quickly, although I do have a couple of Scorchers also coming in, so if I focus fire on the warrior I should be right, but no, these guys are just going to get taken out en masse. Getting these guys stuns though, I think they might have actually been friendly fire from the Zeuses. And yeah, my Raider's just getting taken out there. That warrior really doing quite a bit of damage supporting the Zeuses there. We actually do have the Hermit coming in to help out, but yeah, it's not really going to be enough. Could actually do with a couple of Crabes instead with some Raider Spiders, indeed. With some Raider Spiders, Fleas and all that. And Venoms just to keep enemy units away from the Crave to help to support it, but yeah. What we have now is not really going to be enough. Although actually, no, we do have a couple of Scorchers coming in. Are they actually focusing fire? Well, they sort of are now, but I'm pretty sure they were not focusing fire before. They definitely needed to get into point blank range with the Zeuses. I'm not really sure what they were trying to do. Trying to kite it almost, but they seem to have pretty similar ranges. In fact, I think actually the Zeus is slightly longer range. There we go, I've got a better idea of my Scorcher sending him almost into melee range against the Zeus. Unfortunately it does get taken out though with second Zeus coming in there, and they're going to continue expanding into our territory, basically tightening the vice grip they have on us. Now we've actually got a chainsaw of all things being built up, so it's such a shame we don't actually have a Behemoth now actually, because the chainsaw will probably provide adequate anti-air defense as well as a Razor's Kiss, but oh well, what can you do? Yeah, but a Behemoth, yeah, supported by this anti-air stuff, definitely. Well, I dare say we probably would have been able to hold on to this sector relatively easily, as long as we didn't let them rush it too badly. And indeed, yes, got a problem here. We've got problems everywhere. Indeed, all the upbeat sap IU to that. I already said that, so there you go. So yeah, unfortunately now we don't really have superiority anyway, basically. Our few units that we had there are going to be overwhelmed by a whole bunch of shield bots mostly, and a couple of outlaws, which for some reason are mostly separate from the thugs, but in either case it doesn't really matter, they're going to take us out in either case, and oh well, what can you do? I guess it was a Behemoth too far, especially without the proper anti-air support. I believe they've also got tactical missiles as well actually. I think I saw tactical nuke landing around here. Where the hell is the tactical silo? Ah, here we go. Well, here's one of them anyway. I don't know if there are any more. Nope, there just seems to be one there. What is its range? Wow, it's actually pretty good range. Holy shit. I wonder if we should have actually just rushed a maybe a missile silo instead. The ranger's got. Oh well, whatever. Let's see what he's going to target now. Bam. Going to go straight for the hacksaw. Taking it out and actually deforming the terrain quite a bit actually. So it kind of sucks, what can you do? Razor's Kiss is still going to survive. I mean, it doesn't really matter that I took out that anti-air anyway. I dare say they're going to be able to take us out purely with ground forces anyway, but yeah, definitely putting the vice on us there. The Behemoth rush was an interesting one, but unfortunately it was a little bit too far forward placed and we didn't have the adequate anti-air defences for it either, although if we did, I reckon things would have gone much more differently given the range that we had. The only problem is though, the missile silo probably would have still been built up for our opponents, and well, it's got a much longer range than the Behemoth does, and it's indirect fire, well actually not indirect fire, but rather the missiles they fly in like a high arch, so they can fly over intervening terrain and such. Now there you go, I think we actually do have one missile stored up there, yeah we sure do, a tactical nuke, and they cannot be intercepted with these tactical missiles. At the same time though, they don't do as much damage, and they have a shorter range, but at the same time though, that range is pretty adequate for what they need it to be basically. Really, they need a crowd, do they? Wouldn't quite agree with that, but whatever. Ouch, and here comes the thugs to a bit of damage there. Last shot's managing to take out the Impaler before he gets taken out by our own thugs there. Yeah, we're trying to defend it desperately, but they're just continually pushing on us there. Them using, well, more conventional forces than relying on the Behemoth. Definitely paying off pretty nicely for them, and not to mention their tactical missile silo being pretty freaking useful as well. 2 missiles going to be launched at once. Where are they going to go? Don't you know? Okay, there's the first one, and there's the second one just for good measure. Not bad. Oh god, look at all these freaking craters. Just gotta love it. Probably a bit unnecessary really, given the Zeuses were here, although against the Stingers, actually the Stingers are pretty deadly. Well, more deadly anyway against assault units. The LLTs are. At the same time, they're not exactly cheap either, and they can still be outranged by artillery. Wow, actually, yeah, doing a bit of damage. The Crown now coming in. Well, we do have a couple of Razor's Kisses, I suppose, to help against it, but because they're grouped together, they're going to get destroyed by the cluster bombs and a whole bunch of shadows, I believe. Yes, shadows coming in to bomb the chainsaw as well, with a bunch of amps for support. The chainsaw does actually still remain. Actually, I think I might have called it the hacksaw before. But anyway, the chainsaw is still alive though. We actually do have another chainsaw as well, just to provide a bit of supporting fire. Look at that though, even with 2 chainsaws, they still manage to basically fly in and save all their vamps. I mean, they do actually lose their bombers, but they manage to save the vamps, they manage to save the Crow. Nicely done indeed. Mr. Adam was actually getting taken out there. But yeah. I dare say things are looking pretty grim for us. We could try to actually go for some sneaky tactics of our own with some cloaky bots. There are a couple of possible holes to exploit in the enemy's defences against cloaked stuff, so it is possible to maybe do that. And at the very least, well, might be a bit tricky maybe to get to the missile silo, but maybe to try actually to get to their main bases and all that. We could have taken out a few things like fusion reactors, factories, anything significant. Maybe we might have stood a chance, but no. Looks like we're going to be resigning instead. Indeed. Oh, indeed. Interesting Behemoth rush. Unfortunately, though, not working out. Well, it was interesting to see an unorthodox tactic like that being used. Wow. I don't really agree with it being used, though. What the hell? Oh, okay. Those are the Impalers. I was wondering if we actually had our own tactical nukes there, but no, we didn't actually. We just got a couple of Impalers, and those are actually my Impalers as well. They're nice little missiles going up and down like that. Not really hitting much, but still, it's that fort. It's the fort that counts. I'm not really sure what the hell the tactical nuke was hitting there. Okay, definitely know what that one was hitting there. Actually, very nicely done. Bam! Another one going down, missing my Impaler as well. I'm presuming that's what they were going after. And really, we're just going to slowly but surely get pushed back. I don't think we could really do too much to recover from this at this particular point. Once we lost that Behemoth and the bottom right as well, well, we probably couldn't really recover from that at that stage. But there we go. Still was an interesting game though. Surprised we didn't get some bigger super weapons being used, but that was probably because it didn't go on for long enough and opponents were more content to push us with a combination of shield bots, regular bots, bombers, no vehicles or anything there, but yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah, just different kinds of bots and aircraft. Well, interesting game nonetheless. So there you go. I'll see you all next time.